sudden, are you coming out with a conclusion? Ask her, has she seen an FBI report, investigation? She hasn't.
Have you spoken at all to the
District Attorney? I have.
No, I'm sorry, to the federal officials.
No, they won't have no conversation with us. They will never. They're not meant to talk to us. They won't talk to us. But we know from from Lisa Green.
How much hope do you have that the federal authorities may, in fact, do something?
I'm hoping they listen to this. I'm hoping they listen to that press conference. I'm hoping they can overlook some of this, and maybe, or look into. Maybe they could actually look into what just happened. You know, for this to happen to a man and call it just is pretty insane. To call it work, to say that the deputies did their jobs. 9 officers. It took 9 officers, 19 minutes and 42 seconds. To subdue a man that was on the ground for 7 minutes, tell me that's just insane. And why that is okay or seen okay or is investigated as something that is just the line of duty is bizarre to me. It should be bizarre and crazy, insane to the people, the public.
How angry are you about this decision?
I don't know if there's anger. I don't know if there's anger. There's just a lot of, it's just day one confusion, but at least I have information. We have to think that, you know, without the witnesses, without the media, you know, prying and picking and questioning, this would have died within 2 weeks. Everyone would have listened to Donnie Youngblood, and they were like, oh, David Silva deserved to die. He put up a fight, he resisted, which a lot of people assume and think. But once I hope people have access to information, I'm hoping, especially sheriff's investigations, including what just happened in this press conference, people can start questioning now. That's all I want people to do. Start questioning and start doing their own investigation. Start doing their own discoveries, because they might find out a little bit more than what is said in a small little 2-second sound bit. You had told me shortly after he died that when he was alive, he was your protector. He was your guardian.
Dude, yeah. He watched out over you, and now here in death, yeah, you're trying to protect him.
And it's just, I'm paying him back. I'm paying him back because he would do the same for me. I'm paying him back because he's done so much for me. This is the least I can do for David. The very least. All this, you know, this is him. This is my heart reaching out to him. And hopefully he will get justice. And that's all we're doing as a family. We're just hoping he gets justice.
And he was, as you said earlier, he was looking for help that night.
He was looking for help, and not a lot of people talk about that because people are focusing on the alcohol and the drugs because they love listing it. But he was looking for help. You know, he's third in line at the Mary Kay Health Center. You know, he was struggling that night. You know, David was struggling. I knew it, and I felt it that night. And unfortunately, he wasn't given any help. Unfortunately, he was escorted across the street where a first responding officer was a canine deputy. And 7 minutes, instead of waiting to get help, 7 minutes this officer waits for backup. You know what's going to happen in 7 minutes. You know what's going to happen if you wait 7 minutes. Get this man help. This man has been waiting how long already for help? So tell me, Lisa Green, District Attorney, is that just? Is that okay? Is that okay?
And what does all this say about the state of our mental health system in this country?
What does that say? You know, when you need help, definitely don't be reaching out. You know, definitely don't be asking for it. Don't be going to the hospital. He did try to go to the hospital. You know, he did. He was struggling. He was struggling there. But don't reach out. I guess don't reach out. You know, don't call the police. Don't call the sheriffs. Don't call the CHP, because you might be in a hogtie.
And obviously, it looks like now maybe your only recourse will be the civil end of all this. Where are you guys at with all of that?
We don't. That doesn't even. That's, to me. That's up to the lawyers. That's not my concentration. You know, that's a civil law. That sounds peaceful in a sense. The criminal aspect has to be somewhere out there. There has to be someone questioning, especially that first responding officer who was just involved 2 weeks ago in a killing. Someone should investigate that. Someone should probably look into that, because this is a series of violence that's been happening in Bakersfield for a long time. And people have been letting it slide. What happens when you have a family fighting for someone? What happens when you have a fighting not afraid of that behavior? And I think that we are that. We are that. And we just need people to start looking at this story and understanding it and fighting for David and fighting for whoever else that has been in the same situation. Fight. Don't be afraid of it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.